Welcome to Spaztic Gaming. I'm Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here to talk about a game.
Heroes of New Earth?
League of Legends.
Ah, screw it. I hate this game. I hate it. Ah.
Right. Well, he wasn't contributing much anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing
I'm back. Hi.
that we are going to talk about is the new champion, Sona. We talked about her a lot, but after getting some playtime with and against her and as her, I can give more of an in-depth review. This can my cohort, neworthy as he is. And then we're going to talk about the champ rotation, some news, and then we have a contest, which I think you guys will be excited about. So, without any further ado, Sona, the Maven of Strings. She is mute, but she still talks for some reason.
It's psychic.
It's magic. Well, when we talked about her last week, after a little mix-up, I kind of got her right. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I summed up pretty well. One thing I didn't account for is she puts out a lot of early game damage. That surprised me with her AP/AD aura, with that missile, that dummy fire missile, and then her passive. She actually puts out quite a bit of harassment damage early game, which it surprised me.
She's very stable as far as her healing and her damage.
Her early laning is a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
She's not as vulnerable as we thought she was going to be. That was the main thing.
That said, outside of the laning phase and the team fight phase, she is pretty much as gankable as Soroka, as in very much so. She can move faster than Soroka, which is good, but at the same time, the only way she has to get away from fast enemies is her ult, which, against fast enemies, even as Karthus, even as Fiddlesticks, when I'm a low move speed champion, I can dodge her ult so easily with either a flash or just by good movement.
You can see her just once you see her just turning, like kind of moving around, she's trying to line you up. You're going to kind of circle around it.
It's really easy to predict her. That might be just because people are still new with her, but so far I have had no trouble juking her ult.
Personally, I love support characters. She's one of my better characters. I actually got a pentakill with her for some reason. That being said, I'm one of those people that is very cautious, so I can kind of just back off, run back in, heal, back off, movement speed, back off, heal, deal damage. Just the way I play. That's
one thing we were talking about. I think you'll agree. She is a champion that greatly benefits the whole kite gank, the kite heal metagame, which is very very popular at this point because of the way the end game has shifted kind of towards tanky characters,
more like Mordekaiser and
hardcore tanks, Garen, Mordekaiser, Zinniao, tanky characters with a lot of DPS, as well as some carries, are really benefiting from Sona. Which is the reason why I've been banning her so much. Yay! But that said, there's Sona for you. Still, I think she's easy to gank, but she's very powerful, very good aura champion. She can complement almost any team.
Almost
any team.
You got to have a good team that is willing to let her support. They can't
you have to support your support. So, Sona, let us know. What do you guys think? You think pentakills are super mad easy? I don't know. Let us know.
That's my first pentakill. Leave me alone. So, if you could give her 1 out of 10, what would you give her?
1 out of 10? I would give Sona. Well, she's got interesting abilities. I didn't like the fact that they're all auras, but the fact that they get them activated redeemed her in my eyes, and her passes is pretty neat. So I will give Sona an 8 out of 10.
I agree. I was going to give her an 8 out of 10. She's not overly powerful. She's not too obese.
Obscene?
Obscene, not obese. Yeah, she's not
obese. The only thing obese are her chest instruments.
Chesticles?
Yeah. But yes, Sona, good support, no escape mechanism, just like we thought. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. All right.
Weekly champions. Who do we got?
Ash, Blitzcrank, Cardassian, Miss.
Cardassian?
I've been watching too much MTV.
Oh, that's terrible. Cardassian.
Misfortune,
Nidalee.
Nidalee, Cyan, Soroka, Vager, Vladimir, and Zillion.
A couple of these champions we've gone over, but we'll go over all of them. Starting with Ash. One of the first carries a lot of us play. I'm sure you guys know all about this. Very good scout, very good soft CC'er, and a very good hard CC'er, especially if you're able to line up those heroes. One of those champions that's easy to pick up, hard to master, very high damage potential, especially at the start of those team fights with that big old crit she gets. With that Infinity Edge, she can put out a bunch of damage. And I know a lot of people like to build Philosopher's Stone on her. With that new Kindle Gem combo, it's going to be very good because it gives her what she direly needed, which was a good escape method. So there you go. You can build that Philosopher's Stone on her, build into that Kindle Gem, all of a sudden, bam. Ash is the complete package. So there you go.
Blitzcrank. He is a tank mage. He has his pull-in ability. It's like the reverse of Singed throw ability. It pulls people in. He also has his AoE damage, and he has his shield, which makes him very good for tanking towers.
Yeah, Blitzcrank, arguably one of the best initiators right now, especially with Sona out. Especially with that, because a lot of people are going for that whole deal damage, kite away, and then heal. Blitzcrank is as good as at messing up that strategy, as he can rip somebody away and get that quick gank in before their support and their tanks can rush in. I think Blitzcrank is going to be used a lot this week in order to count Sona and a lot of the tanks and support champions that are coming out. Him along with Janna and Gragas.
Definitely.
Kassadin? Cardassian?
See, you did it too!
You know what? At least I didn't call him Kardashian. Whatever. No, he's one of those Cardassians. Always giving Captain Jean-Luc Picard trouble. Dang it. No. Cardassian is... He is a mage assassin. Some people use him as physical, which I haven't really seen that often. I mostly see him built as a hybrid, especially with Manamune out. He's able to really punish casters pretty badly. Like, I play Karthus a lot, and when I see a Cardassian, I dread fighting him because I'm spamming so much. So, a lot of champions that use a lot of abilities, Cardassian is the bane of you. He will tear you apart. He deals a lot of damage. He's got a lot of movement. He's got a lot of mobility, and he's very bursty for what he is. He's melee, but he's very bursty, which I think is a cool thing to have. He can put out that quick burst and then port away, or he could put in that burst and then still beat on you with his energy sword, which I think is a fun thing to do. It's a change from other champions out there, which I think a lot of people overlook. They just see him as, oh, he's squishy, he's a mage, I don't really like to play him, he's hard to use. But Cardassian, fun this week. If you want to try something new in terms of a melee, he's definitely the guy to check out.
Yep. All right, here's last week's news, Misfortune.
Oh, yes.
We've gone over here a lot.
But just in case you missed out, she is a DPS carry. She's a ranged carry with one soft CC. It's an AoE CC. It's kind of like Smoke Bomb without the MR/AR and the stealth, obviously. But it's a placeable AoE slow with a little bit of damage. She's got a lot of damage potential. She's got a healing debuff. She's got a lot going for her. Some of her abilities are kind of boring. Be warned. A lot of them are just straight damage or just a single bounce, which I don't. I'm not a big fan of it. But in terms of a good range carry, she's definitely that. She trumps a lot of the other DPS carries out there right now. So if you're looking for someone that can put out a lot of damage, complement your team, if all you need is hardcore damage, she's definitely the champ to go with this week.
Nidalee.
Nidalee, you know about?
I have never played her.
Well, she's good. She played a lot of ways. Her Panther is devastating, even with the change to the jump CC, or the jump cooldown, rather. She can still get around, do a lot of damage very quickly, and get away from almost any situation. Trying to chase her on a champion, oh, it's like It's nigh impossible. She's very good at escaping if you're coordinated. That said, outside of Cougar form, she's still very powerful. Her heal is great to complement some of the DPS this week. That attack speed is killer, and her heal is very, very powerful. Her traps are really cool because the enemy can't destroy them. So as soon as a trap is down, until you place another couple of them, it's there for good. Granted, the sight range isn't huge, but if your enemy steps on it, all of a sudden, bam, you've got giant wide open vision and a little bit of damage. Arguably, Teemo's mushrooms are better for scouting, but in terms of just, I want to place it, make sure we don't get ganked from the side, it's very, very good. Her spear throw is also, it's very powerful, especially if you can line it up. If you're good with Ash's arrows, then you'll be devastating with Nidalee's spear throw.
Scion. Scion is another one of those mage tanks. He has his own AoE, as well as having...
Scion, guys, he's probably one of the most powerful mage tanks in the game. His AP coefficients are insane. They're both 1-to-1. That's 1-to-1 on his stun, 1-to-1 on his shield. And then he's got his 2 damage abilities. He's got his ult, and of course, the cannibalize. And his passive reduces the damage from those melee hits. Very, very powerful champion. Difficult to use. You really have to get timing down packed. Otherwise, you're going to stumble and you're going to fail. So, Scion, big timing champion. But if you coordinate yourself, it will pay off. He's very powerful.
Soroka.
Ooh, Soroka is the nerfed healer. She's kind of weak at this point in the game. Her heals are good. They're not great.
They weren't as good as they used to be.
Yeah, they're not nearly as good as they used to be. Her mana back is still good, especially pairing it with Veigar this week. And the armor and the MR she grants is always welcome. But again, she's going to get outshined by Sona pretty much at every point except for her global AoE. And she has slightly more single target healing. So Soroka, more of a specialized healer. But if you want to be playing something that's going to support your team a lot more, I'd definitely go with Sona.
Yeah. Veigar. Veigar is a mage. One of his main priorities is to get kill steals with his main...
I wouldn't call them kill steals.
Or main last hits. The reason why is every time he last hits a minion with Baleful Strike, he gains more AP. So early game you need to stack the AP up with that ability. Combined with his stun and his AoE over... What is it?
Yeah, it's a delayed AoE.
Delayed AoE. Makes him very, very good late game. Early game, he's kind of weak, but late game, he can be built up and be very, very strong.
Yes, like we talked about, Veigar is the late game mage, whereas Annie would be the early mid game mage. So, if you're playing longer games, if you're playing with a lot of support or tanks, Veigar's a good champ to have. He has a lot of damage, and he has some versatility with that stun. So Veigar, good late game mage. Definitely try him out if you're playing with a lot of support.
Vladimir!
Blah. We've reviewed him a couple of times. Vladimir is the... some call him a mage tank, some just call him a durable mage. I would call him a durable mage. I wouldn't call him a tank, as his armor and his magic resist, people don't often build him up very much. They can, which makes him very strong, but because he has that sanguine pool, because he can get Zanyas, don't really do it that often. Vladimir, he has fair damage potential, but most of his damage comes in his durability. Kind of like Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser doesn't have great damage, but because he can survive so long, his damage seems high just because he's alive longer, putting out more and more damage. Plus the extra damage from his ult really complements a good team, especially if you're coordinated with your AoEs.
Yep. Zillion, we've talked about him before. He is a support caster. He has his increased movement, decreased movement, his time bomb, his resurrection to a fallen ally for an ult. Very, very, very useful combined with, tanks, but you don't want to have too many support characters this week, especially since Sona's out.
Yeah, if you want to go for a champ that's good at supporting your team but can put out some damage, Zillion's the guy.